I discovered this in the most unexpected way right at the start of our annual guys fishing weekend. You see, it's a 3-day fishing trip with my buddies Tom, Jerry, Bill, and me, John. We go up to the lake while our wives have their own girls' weekend. We've been friends for years, and Jerry and Lisa were our closest pals. Bill was Jerry's nephew, a few years younger than us, but he fit right in and became one of my most dedicated employees. When Mary and I got married, we were just high school grads. I was driven and started a small pool service business right after graduation. In 2 years, it expanded to over 100 homes with 4 employees. Fast forward 20 years, and I was managing more than 1,500 homes with a team of 30 committed employees. Bill was a key player in the company, his passion and work ethic making him an outstanding manager. Seeing his contributions, I promoted him, offering a salary increase and the potential for future ownership in the company. Our professional relationship turned into a deep friendship, and together we solidified our company as the top pool service provider. Effective financial management was crucial as the business grew. I turned to Sam, trusted family member and retired tax accountant, for advice. Following his guidance, I leveraged all the equity in my home to fuel the business expansion. When mortgage rates hit record lows, Mary VJ Thames' friend Kate, a corporate attorney, suggested placing the company into a trust to protect our assets. I took her advice, becoming the sole trustee, and Kate played a pivotal role in our success. On the day we were about to leave for our vacation, Mary and her friends swooped down on our house for their weekend extravaganza. I was given strict orders not to intrude, so I gladly complied, looking forward to a fishing trip. After weeks of hard work, as I drove to Jerry's house, I couldn't help but smile, knowing the weekend's adventures were just beginning. We planned to leave at 6:00 p.m. to reach the lake by 9 o'clock. As we gathered our gear, I realized I had forgotten my special fishing lure. Fishing was a passion for me, and I took pride in crafting my lures. The one I'd been working on was a masterpiece designed to lure in the finest fish. I told my friends I'd be back soon and drove home to get it. When I got home, I parked behind the women's cars and quietly made my way to the workshop. I didn't want to disturb them or get yelled at for coming home early. I could hear them chatting and laughing, clearly enjoying themselves. I wasn't an eavesdropper, but when I heard my wife talking about me, my curiosity got the better of me. I decided to record their conversation, thinking I'd tease her about it later. Little did I know the next few minutes would turn my world upside down. The women were discussing their love lives, and Mary's friend Lisa was sharing details about her relationship. I couldn't help but chuckle at their candidness until one of them asked Mary if that's why she did it with Bill. My heart sank. As I leaned in, curious to hear her response, Mary said, "John and I have a good sex life, and he's always satisfied me in that way. I love him and would never intentionally start anything with Bill. It just happened." The girls pressed her for more details, and Mary confessed that after Lisa dumped Bill, he was distraught, and she felt a motherly need to take care of him. She admitted to making a colossal mistake, but she insisted it was just a one-time thing. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I grabbed my lure and drove back to Jerry's house, tears streaming down my face. I needed time to process everything and couldn't face Mary yet. I decided to stick to our original plan and go on the fishing trip, even though it meant spending the weekend with Bill. When I arrived, Jerry noticed something was wrong, but I lied, saying I had a migraine. He let me rest in the front seat with a blindfold and noise-canceling headphones, giving me time to contemplate the betrayal. I couldn't look at Bill and kept my eyes shut, thanking my friends for their understanding. For the next 3 hours, I thought about the years I had spent with Mary and how this betrayal might end it all. When we reached the cabin, I remained unusually quiet, using my migraine as an excuse. I tried not to ruin the trip for Tom and Jerry, but struggled with my emotions too. Days later, still in doubt, I found myself walking through the woods with Bill heading to the lake. I was filled with anger, and when I saw a fallen branch, I picked it up and hit Bill on the shoulder. He screamed in pain, and I told him I knew about him and Mary. He tried to apologize, but I told him to shut up, warning him not to talk to me or Mary. Jerry and Tom saw us and pulled me away, asking what was going on. I played the recording for them, and they were furious. Jerry yelled at Bill, calling him a traitor. Tom said he would have a serious conversation with his wife, Kate, and Jerry agreed. I told them to give me a few days before they did anything. I needed to confront Mary first. They agreed, and for the rest of the trip, we ignored Bill. I spent the remaining days thinking about how to confront Mary. When I got home, Mary greeted me warmly, but I stayed calm, hiding my anger. We had dinner, and she took me to the bedroom, wanting intimacy. I couldn't respond, and finally told her there was someone else. She was shocked and angry, demanding I leave. I smiled, knowing she had just sealed her fate. I took her to the workshop and played the recording for her. She broke down, begging for forgiveness. I told her I couldn't trust her again, and that she would face the consequences. I filed for divorce, and the judge granted me a significant portion of the assets at work. Bill became an outcast, and he eventually left. I started dating Becky, my secretary, and we got married a year later. Weimar DGTM's life took a different turn, and she dealt with the consequences of her actions upon returning home. But I found myself unable to respond, consumed by thoughts of her affair. Consequently, I couldn't continue. She gazed up at me in astonishment, clearly hurt by my lack of enthusiasm. So she inquired about what was bothering me. That's when it was time to reveal my hand. I had strategically positioned my phone on the nightstand, secretly recording the audio, ensuring there would be no misinterpretation of our conversation. I said, Mary, there's something I need to tell you. There's someone else, and I feel so bad that I just can't perform. She was shocked and looked up at me and asked, what do you mean there's someone else? I told her sorry, and that it's only been a couple of times, but the sex is still great. I just can't get it out of my head. Her temper flared. As I predicted, you had sex with someone else, and you can't stop thinking of the sex, I said. Well, to be honest, the orgasms were the best ever, and I can't get the thought of all those amazing orgasms out of my head, which is why I couldn't get hard. I chose the words carefully, not implicating myself, but just repeating her own words from the recording. She was in tears, evidently wounded by the idea of betrayal. Was I being unkind and harsh? Perhaps. However, the truth was that I was the one who had been wronged, not her. I allowed her to carry on. She shouted angrily, well, screw you. You can pack your things and leave. I won't remain married to a cheater. You know, my dad cheated on my mom, and it shattered her.